lost for a really long time, but we finally made it to our room, and it's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's got 2 whole bedrooms. This is like way bigger in comparison to last time. So it's got 1 bed in here, and if you go this way, it's got another bedroom. Very fancy. Very cool. Ooh. Yep, okay, we're gonna plop down and die. See you later. So every day we'd take this beautiful path towards the station. It was pretty different from the surrounding neighborhood. I'm glad we ended up finding this path because in our night of arrival, we struggled to find our Airbnb because the email flipped the numbers of the address. That was a nightmare. Can you believe that? Also, check out my awesome at an angle camera work. Super professional, right? It took a lot of courage for me to start taking videos in public and hold the camera up high, since people'd start staring and I'd probably obstruct traffic. It's probably especially weird in a really small street/neighborhood like this, but I thought this place was really special and I was glad to be able to walk past it every day. Anyways, if you've watched our Tokyo Dark playthrough, you'd know that these are Ojizo-sama statues that are seen as guardians of children. After this section, it just leads us back to the main street. The Ghibli Museum was a fantastic experience, and I'm so thankful to Berkeley for pulling off some last-minute tricks to somehow get us tickets, even though normally you have to reserve them months in advance. Don't know what you pulled. The footage of Shibuya Crossing earlier was us headed to this remote-ass building to pick up our tickets from an English-speaking travel office. Well, anyways, they didn't allow pictures and videos inside, but it's basically a wonderland of animation, art, just incredible imagination. They have old animated shorts, tons of older technology used for animation back in the day, film stills, drafts, replicas of their studios, and of course the building's architecture itself makes it feel like you're in a Ghibli adventure with like random alcoves, bridges, spiral staircases, and there was this giant Neko bus that we weren't allowed to play on because we were too old. The outside area is breathtaking, and I'm so happy I finally got to see this big ol' lug for myself. It felt really magical. This is Kichijoji, which paper, thank you so much again for helping me remember the name of the city. My incredible friend in Japan, Cleo, who I see every time I visit, is always incredibly sweet and more than happy to introduce me to cool places like this. After finally getting around of taking footage of this store that I adore, I found out that it's called Gansou Nakaya Mugendo Unibangumi. It's a chain, but has different numbers affixed to the end of the name for each one, I think. I don't know how to describe its contents well aside from what you're seeing, but basically it has a lot of Asian clothing, hand-carved ornaments, incense. My all-time favorite thing here is the Arabian pants! Seriously, they're incredible! Owl Cafe and Bar, Fukuro no Sato, or Owl Village, was one of the highlights of the trip for me. I've never been up close and personal with owls before. The big ones are huge and the tiny ones are so small. It's 1,500 yen for the whole experience, which came with a lot. 30 minutes you spend snacking on some small cakes and sweets with a drink of your choice, all on owl-themed plates and cups, and you also get a small glass owl figure and button of your favorite owl on the way out. They've also collected a ton of owl-related items in a shop area at the entrance for you to buy. For the other 30 minutes, you get to go into an enclosed area and play with the owls. I paid an extra 500 yen to get a bowl of food for the owls, and I don't regret it one bit. The barn owls specifically had to be fed differently since they were going through flight training. This was my absolute favorite part, getting to call their names and having them fly to me. It was so cool! Oh, come on. Oh, God. Cute! Like, throw my arm out? Oh, cool! Okay, and then down in the nut. So apparently they only make a certain amount of these premium pancakes per day, so we had to come an hour ahead of a time slot, reserve a number, and then come back an hour later. Can you believe that? And it started raining super hard and it was really cold, but they were light and fluffy and delicious. Hello, it's a flat roll-up piano thing, and we will get a beautiful piece performed by UC Berkeley. Be prepared for majesty. Yes. That was UC Berkeley with, what was the name of that lovely piece?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
39.80.
Great, 39.80. Goodbye, thank you. Ichiran Ramen was a really interesting place. It had a huge line, but it's a really unique experience. So you take turns placing your order on a machine to get a ticket, then you stare at a grid of flashing buttons to see which seats are open. You'll have these individual booths where you can just totally ignore the people next to you and you don't get to see your waiter's face or anything.
Hello, I'm going to speak quietly, but there's more footage here. So you get your own cup, there's a little thing you can do your own water, and then after they shove you the ramen, they close the blinds. It's really funny to tell that you're done with the order, yes. Cool.
This is Earth Radio, and now here's human music.
I've been to a few cat cafes before, and this one was a new one for me. We didn't really get to play with the cats much this time around because they were all mostly sleeping. I don't expect to get to play with them much in general since they are cats, but I love them anyway. I can't find the specific subtitle, but there are apparently different versions of this restaurant with different subtitles. Alice in Wonderland was a charming little cafe with waitresses in cute outfits like Alice or the Cheshire Cat, adorably themed tasty food and drinks, and a wonderfully decorated cafe. It was in a ridiculously difficult to find spot in a big department building, but I'd just say that fits with the theme. Design Festa is an awesome gallery that I really love the concept of. I don't know the specifics of how it works, but it seems like people of any art medium can sign up to get a space of their own inside and just display their stuff however they like. That sounds awesome! I would love to be able to do that kind of thing one day. It feels very casual, and the artists themselves are usually there with their gallery. They seem friendly and happy to talk with you about their work. We caved and went to yet another animal cafe. This one was incredible. It was like a jungle with a huge variety of animals. I paid to feed this capybara, of course, because what is this thing? Look at it! It was like a giant rat. They had owls, meerkats, flamingos, monkeys, ducks, fennec foxes, cockatoos. It was insane. Ninja Akasaka was so much fun. It was hard to take footage in here because it was so dark, but they run you through secret dark passageways, have you activate a drawbridge and put out fake fires with ninja chants, and then you gorge on a very expensive but luxurious full-course meal full of interesting and aesthetically beautiful foods. There's even a master ninja magician towards the end of the meal, and he was amazing.
Congratulations, and please mark your share. Yeah.
I am so thrilled that I got to see this for myself while I was here. Both Berkeley and I used to work for Scrap Entertainment, a Japan-originated escape room company. They're still working hard to build up their presence in Los Angeles, but they are a huge powerhouse in Japan. The day we met up with one of the higher-ups, who we got to know before in LA, they happened to be having their grand opening for a 4-floor experience, Tokyo Mystery Circus. I was absolutely blown away. Everyone there was a figure from companies interested in being involved somehow, and they had a small press conference, I think, along with a cafe and a goods store and a cute mascot. We got snuck in and were introduced as LA staff, and they allowed us to play this short 10-minute prison break game because they were testing it in English too. It was so fun. The craziest part to me is that they created their own line of characters and goods for this mafia game. The characters were apparently designed by Ace Attorney's character designer. What?